The topic of this presentation is the future of autonomous road freight transport. Road freight is responsible for transporting over 70% of the goods moved in the United States, making it an essential system for the economy. Companies such as Tesla, Daimler, and Uber have been developing autonomous truck technologies to combat the many challenges that the system faces, making it likely that the trucking industry changes significantly over the next 10 years. In order to forecast and prepare for these potential changes, businesses must ask, what is the future of autonomous road freight transportation? 4 key forces will drive change in the future of long-haul road freight: the development and success of enabling technology, the structure of the supply chain, socio-demographic challenges, and government spending and regulations. More specifically, depending on the level of human engagement within trucking and the level of localization versus globalization of the supply chain, there is a wide range of possibilities for the future of road freight. By mapping these 2 main uncertainties on a double uncertainty matrix, 4 unique alternative scenarios for the future are created. Before looking at each of these scenarios, we want you to meet Oscar. He has been a trucker for the last 15 years and depends on this career to support his family. Keep him in mind as we discuss each scenario.
We'll begin with the performance pilot scenario, which features a continued trend towards globalization and high human engagement. This is our least disruptive scenario. We see low to intermediate levels of automation, and truck drivers have more of a pilot-like role. Assisted driving and truck platooning are the norm, but a driver is still necessary, therefore minimizing job displacement and alleviating the driver shortage. Demand for shipping in this global economy will increase freight tons moved. However, the efficiency in automation will allow for cost and fuel savings. The headline for this future is UPS rolls out fleet of 150 autonomous trucks to meet holiday demand for shipping. Next, we'll discuss the connected cloud scenario, which features the trend towards globalization paired with high automation of the trucking industry. Globalization continues to increase freight tons moved annually. The higher levels of automation are the norm for long-haul trucks, which create major fuel and cost savings, as well as huge improvements in safety. Federal support for testing and implementation allow for huge improvements in sensor technologies, smart infrastructure, and the connectivity of the autonomous vehicle network. While nearly 3 million drivers are displaced, the wide success of autonomous trucking means that both company resources and government subsidies have gone into driver retraining and support programs. A headline for this future is Delaware launches $8 billion beta testing of its SmartWay infrastructure system. Next is the anti-autonomous activism scenario, which features an emphasis on localization paired with fierce pushback against automation. After millions of dollars in R&D investment and cautious public acceptance, there are a series of cybersecurity breaches as well as several major accidents with autonomous vehicles. Teamsters leverage these incidents to greatly grow public support for their anti-automation, and legislation on the federal or state level could potentially ban autonomous vehicles from highways and expressways.
We are against this law because this is ruining our truckers' life.
I want the government to get out of the way and give you the opportunity to be a success.
This is the Department of Transportation during a week of trucker-organized demonstration.
Advocacy and activism against the robotization of American jobs puts pressure on the localization of the supply chain with an emphasis on goods being American-made or locally sourced. A headline for this feature is CEO speaks out on why Ford is emphasizing safety over new tech advancements in the 2025 line. Last is the regional robotics scenario, which features the localized production of goods and services and a high degree of automation to carry out manufacturing and deliveries. The widespread implementation of additive manufacturing or 3D printing drastically lessens the demand for shipping. Similarly, advances in urban agriculture such as vertical farms reduce the need to ship food from farms to urban centers. Many deliveries are made by autonomous drone, which follows the most direct route possible, allowing for almost immediate receipt of goods ordered. For larger or bulk shipments, autonomous vehicles will carry out last-mile deliveries, which will occur on an intra-city basis rather than on a national level. The headline for this future is Prime Fresh Air delivers small packages to Detroit in big ways, over 18,000 parcels each day. We've just looked at 4 unique scenarios that could have large consequences on the world we see today. But let's go back to Oscar and look at these scenarios in a human context. Oscar could potentially face new job responsibilities behind the wheel, unemployment challenges, protest opportunities, or even retraining for new technologies. There are millions of businesses that could be affected directly and indirectly by changes in autonomous trucking, from hospitality to insurance to government and logistics. No matter what industry, businesses need to remember 2 key takeaways. The future of autonomous road freight has the potential to drastically differ from the status quo, and companies who prepare wind tunnel tested strategies, scan for early signposts of alternative futures, and adapt quickly to uncertainties can capitalize on these changes and be future-proof.